wherever I go, I want to be able to choose my own players. I feel like I've had a lot of success building teams. I feel at my best when I'm in control, you know? If I don't already really like this player, then I probably wouldn't even go there in the first place. So when I joined MOVISTAR, it was like from the start, I could do whatever I want. This is my decision. This is also why I'm willing to take full responsibility, you know? Like the reason why I just thought I could get better players. Like I don't think they're bad and I respect them as players. But the thing is like one thing that I already had in my head, if I go back to Europe, no matter where I will go together with Unforgiven, no matter what. Because firstly, I had a very good working experience with him. I think he's really fucking good. It's hard to say, but they just get unlucky, you know? I don't think they're bad, but I think these players are better. That's just my opinion. Can I be wrong? Sure. But like at the end of the day, I'm just doing my job and I think what I will do what I think is best. That's my responsibility, right?
So what's your goal here?
What I would prefer is that we can just create a system where we can consistently promote players to LEC. And that's hard. I experienced that's like hard this off season. Is firstly, their salary cap is lower than in LFL. And also if people want to be in a more allegedly competitive league, which might be true. Like I think the baseline of LFL is for sure higher than LVP. It's better for a very good rookie to go to France right now, right? But how can we change that? That's like the question, right? There are like a lot of rookies, for example, I think are really good right now. When you're talking to these players, it's hard to get them because they're like, I want to go to LFL. I can't change that in like right now. That's just what they want. Let's say after 1 year, Movistar is winning a lot, or like a Movistar KOI is really good place to be. It's way better for me to go there. I want players to think that it's good for their career to join this program. That's like the goal.
What's happening here in the LEC in comparison with LCS? What's the biggest difference that you found?
When you're in SK Prime, the organization, they kind of say like, oh, it's important to just promote players and like develop players. But in reality, that's never really true. If I develop people when we go like ninth place, both splits in a row, I just lose my job. But in NA, nobody cared like about the result. It was really important that certain players just got better. So for example, in my first year, MASSU was really talented. Like the first 2 days when I saw him play, I almost couldn't believe. When MASSU joined Flyers Academy, he didn't play in the team before. And the second day, when I saw him play, I felt like someone was like a prank. There's like no way that this kid is like that good. When you're working there, most of my attention just like would just go into him. Make sure that he gets really good, and nobody really cares if we win games, or it's like obviously preferred. Like it looks good if we win. What was just the goal at some point is that at the end of the year, MASSU could hopefully promote.
What's your personal opinion on JOJOPYUN?
I became really good friends with Inspired this year. We're both obviously we're playing for work for FlyQuest, and me and Inspired play a lot of football together. We play a lot of tennis, pickleball, whatever. There was one player that Inspired could never stop talking about, and it was Jojo. It was always JoJoPyun would do this here. Oh, JoJoPyun was so good. Like JoJoPyun was like Inspired loves JoJoPyun, and Inspired, in my opinion, is one of the best Western players of all time. I have never heard Inspired talk about another player with so much respect, and he is really fucking good. This guy is obviously fucking insane, and I think we are really lucky to have him here.
Good night, everybody. Welcome to our show, to Al Lío Podcast. Empezaré un poco en inglés y en español, pero primero en español, para recordar a todo el mundo que este va a ser un stream en inglés, ya que el invitado solo habla inglés por ahora. Bueno, inglés y el idioma que hablen en Holanda, ya creo que es el flamenco, ¿no? El flamenco, el holandés, o bueno, ya no se llama Holanda, creo, pero bueno.
Países Bajos, ¿no?
Países Bajos. Hablará paisbajense, algo así parecido. No, por favor, que nadie me hable de fútbol en ninguno de los casos, porque estoy un poco sensible con el tema. No sé si habéis visto, voy a hacer un poco de bragging aquí, y es que hoy he hecho, no sé si lo habéis visto en mis redes, básicamente. Hoy, gente, he hecho 45.723 pasos. Y no he contado los que acabo de dar a la cocina, ¿vale? 45.723 pasos. Yo creo que está bastante bien.
Se están riendo todos de ti, ¿eh?
Joder, pues yo qué sé. Tampoco he hecho nada mal. ¿Los subtítulos funcionan mal o qué? Deberían, ¿no? Bueno, pero ahora vamos a cambiar al inglés. De hecho, no se me ocurre mejor forma que cambiar al inglés than doing it right now and presenting Marta and asking Marta,
Yes.
you have to answer in English.
Yes.
How are you doing, Marta?
I'm very good. I have a very busy day, so, well, I'm tired, but it was really well.
Did you work
happy,
today, or?
Yeah, of course. At 7, I take the bus. I'm going to work until 3. So yeah.
So you take the bus at 7 and
At
you come
7,
back at
yes.
like
At 3.
at 3. Okay.
Yes.
No studying today?
Yes. I came home, sleep a little bit with Leo, my cat, and then go
Okay.
to the class.
Okay. All right. I'm happy
Yeah,
for
good,
you.
good.
I'm happy for you. Like, this is embarrassing, and I can feel when I ask something to somebody in English and they're Spanish speakers, I can feel their lips having a smile and not trying to burst out laughing because they're just embarrassed to speak in English. Just let's just get over it. Come on.
I'm
Eros.
only speak Spanish, well, English when I went to Germany 2 months ago, so my English is a bit oof.
Rusty? You're a bit like
Yes.
cold on it? Okay. All right. Well,
But yeah, how
But
are
you-
you?
I'm good. I'm great. I did 45,000 steps today. So, like, my legs are like really sore, but I am really, really happy that I'm almost getting to my goal. I'm gonna do 50K a day. That's my goal, and that's what I'm gonna do.
50
Uh,
Gs. Holy shit.
50 Gs, no, 50K,
Yeah.
50,000. Can I go to the toilet, please? Yes. Fire.
Tío,
Come
te
on,
llamas
please.
Fide, por favor.
Fire devil, please. Just calm down. Eros, how are you doing, Eros?
Well, shitty day, guys. Like always, I'm so tired of off-season. I want to be finished as soon as possible, and yeah. But happy we got Rako here today, so he can explain us a lot of things and a lot of things that have been going on KOI. So yeah, quite happy.
Are you sad that that KOI Sevilla, which is
Yeah, I'm sad
our
that KOI
third
Sevilla
leg,
is not here because he would be number one fan of Rako, but well, his English is rough. Let's say that. So he will need to use translator and CCs. But I think he left you some questions, so we will have him here even though he's not with us.
I mean, to be fair, his English is not rough. His like Spanish is also rough.
Mm,
Like him speaking Spanish is also rough. Like
Yeah,
I see.
his
yeah.
communication in general is rough.
Okay, well, let's present our guest for tonight, which is Rako, the new or the let's say new coach that is gonna enter the Spanish scene soon. Apparently, how are you doing, Rako? Good night.
Good night. I'm doing good. I had a really good day actually, and I was looking forward to this. So yeah, I'm excited for sure.
Really good day.
Yeah,
Are you?
I
Are
was
you?
just
Let me ask you. Let me ask you one thing that is like really big on this podcast, at least between us. Are you fans? Are you Formula One fan?
sure.
Okay, who do you like the most? Verstappen.
I mean, he's from my country. I can't say. I have to say Verstappen, obviously.
Yeah,
Okay.
Marta is big Max fan.
Marta, right here, she's crazy about Leclerc. Crazy.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Well,
No,
my
it
my
doesn't make any
cats,
sense.
my first cat it was Max, because Max Verstappen, and the second one it was Leo because of Charles
DiCaprio.
dog. No, Charles dog.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I'm
Charles
a
dog.
very
Yeah, you're a
Formula
freak.
One fan.
You're a freak.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Okay. Well, okay. You're a Formula One fan. Are you a football fan?
Sure.
What team?
For my own country, I support Ajax because that's the city that I grew up close to, for sure. And it's just
Okay.
like it's the best club in my country. Um, I think that's just my answer. Let's just keep it political
No,
here, you know.
no,
I'm
no.
not gonna start anything.
No. Ajax is fine. Ajax is fine.
Yeah.
It's a historic team. Yep. Pretty much. Jordi Cruyff and everybody. Yeah. But we're not here to talk about football. Don't worry, guys, on the chat because I know you guys don't like football. But the first question I gotta ask you is because some people were like really surprised that you accepted this interview for many reasons. First, because of the roster is not closed or is like, we don't know if it's closed, but it doesn't seem like it's closed.
Mm.
And also, you were not announced as a coach for Movistar KOI or for
Yeah.
KOI. All right.
Who is
So,
allegedly?
yeah, allegedly you are the coach, but like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
just going
mean,
to ask
the
you
thing
straight
is,
up: are you the new coach?
I think I can just say yes. Like, I think it's like, I mean, in my opinion, like in the past, I think maybe like 4 years ago, when at least Ivulu and all the leakers were not really a thing, people generally really wouldn't know. But I think nowadays, when Sheep Esports posts something, it's usually kind of a fact at this point. And I've been like tweeting in Spanish. It's not that deep, you know. Like at this point, I'm sure everyone knows anyway. So like I don't really care.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't really care. Okay. As of Eros asking me before the interview, and just told you that we would like to get to know you better before getting to Movistar KOI. So the first thing that I will ask you as a coach, because you were a player before, for the people that doesn't know, you were a mid laner for many teams. That as I did my research, the first team you coached for over a year was SK Prime.
Yeah.
How was that experience? How would you define it as your first experience as coach?
I think in my first 2 years, for me, it was a lot of figuring out how I want to teach, what is important to me, what do I value, how do I want to carry myself, what kind of players do I want to work with, how do I want my teams to play the game. So I think like in my first 2 years, I just spent most of my time figuring everything out. So like that was really a more of a learning experience for me, I would say. And yeah, I think like those 2 years, I think I wasn't wasn't as great as I feel like how confident I am in my capabilities right now. But yeah, for me, I would look those 2 years were just mostly learning experience, especially the first one, because when you go from playing to coaching, like just instantly, like there's like so much to figure out, and they're like the social dynamics of the players change, because like it was like I played my last tournament, and 2 months later I moved to Germany to start coaching SK Gaming. That was like really strange, but over time I just started figuring out how I want to carry myself, how I want to structure everything, what's important for me, and yeah. So the first year was like the first two were kind of like figure everything out.
Mhm. We have SUPA, which is going to be the AD carry in the main team that you're joining. He just literally wrote on the chat, "I retire him in the EU Masters."
Okay, I have to say I did decide to retire
Yes.
before that. I already signed my contract, but it was one of
No,
the last.
no,
It was
no.
already it was one of the last games that I played. Yes.
Okay. But I mean, SUPA. We all know SUPA. He is just
He's
happy
a
thinking that
cocky
he retire
guy.
you. Yeah.
Sure, like let's give it to him. Yeah, like you destroyed my career. I never want to play the game again. Like it was so mind crushing.
What players did you have in SK Prime? What was the roster that you had over there?
In my first year when I signed, I had Alois top lane, who is right now
Alois.
very famous League of Legends content creator, obviously, who was a great player at the time. I had Kane jungle, Zaze mid, Unforgiven AC, and support Lilip. And in the summer, we replaced mid for 2 hours, who also played in LVP this year, obviously. And in my second year, I had Alois again, Ekas, Dehaste and Phantomless, Gadget, and Mystique Sensio.
That's when Unforgiven was taken from your team.
Yeah, so like after my first year, like in my first year when I worked for Unforgiven, first year was really good, obviously.
Yeah.
And after our year working together, that's when he joined Mad Lions and I see the next year, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. After that, as I was looking into it, then you went to NA.
Yep.
You went to the FlyQuest Academy.
Mm.
They did a lot of rebranding. But you were there for like another 2 years in FlyQuest?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that I want to ask, looking at what happened in Worlds and looking at specifically at FlyQuest and what's happening here in the LEC in comparison with LCS and so on, what's the biggest difference that you found between that league and this league?
I think when I was in NA, the biggest difference when you're doing I've done 2 years of European Academy program, 2 years of an NA Academy program, and in NA the dynamics kind of change compared to the first year and the second year. But in reality, when you're in SK Prime, like the organization, they kind of say like, oh, it's important to just promote players and like develop players, but in reality, that's never really true. If I develop people when we go like 9th place to both splits in a row, I just lose my job. But in NA, I really feel like nobody cared like about the result. It was really important that certain players just got better. So for example, in my first year, from all my players, I just knew MASSU was really talented. Like I already knew in the first day, like the first 2 days when I saw him play, I almost couldn't believe, because for the people that don't know, but MASSU joined Flaggers Academy, he didn't play in the team before. Like he no experience, nothing. And the second day when I saw him play, I was like, I felt like someone was like a prank. There's like no way that this kid is like that good. But then when you're working there, most of my attention just like would just go into him, you know, to just like make sure that he gets really good. And nobody really cares if we win games, or it's like obviously preferred, like it looks good if we win. But it was really like what was just the goal at some point is that at the end of the year, MASSU could hopefully promote to the LCS team. And when he did, it's like a success. And it was kind of the same like this year. So like last year at some point, a lot of the orgs ditched their academy team, obviously, because it didn't become mandatory anymore. But for this year, just Flex and TL kept their academy team, which really helped because we could just firstly choose every single play that we wanted, where last year all the players were kind of like separated over different teams. But in 2024, so this year, I could just choose whoever I thought was good or the best player. We just got the best players in like almost every role. And it's just so easy. So this, for example, in the start of the year, my job was just, okay, we're going to sign Quad. And at some point, we want to put him in our LCS team. Maybe at the end of the year, maybe earlier, maybe later, we don't know. So my attention is just like me and Quad, just spending a lot of time together, me working with Quad and making sure he can get promoted to the LCS team. And in spring, obviously, we also won. Like we won the season. Like we barely lost any games, but that didn't even matter. Like I didn't even care if we win or not, you know? Like when Quad, for example, then got promoted after summer, it's like more important than actually winning. So that's like a little bit different, because when you're work to like go back to the original question, when you're working in ERL, people do care a little bit about winning. Like it's not like you're in a competitive league. That changes a bit. So your focus is more on like the general team and like developing your team as a whole, in my opinion, at least at the time. And in NA, I could just like make sure that one player just gets really good, and that's just different. And overall, like I like being there, to be honest. I think Flag is a great organization. I really liked all the players that I work with and all the people that I work with. Like Papa Smitty has been really great for me the past 2 years. All the other people, it was a great place to be for sure.
I'm really interested, Rako, on the MASSU thingy you mentioned, because if MASSU first team was Fly Coast Academy, how did you got him, or how was the recruit process? Because
Well, he was already there when I
the
signed.
academy is really like it was from solo queue, or
So at least like, so the story, I heard 2 stories. It's like a little bit hard because the thing is that when I came, the team was just there. I didn't choose anyone yet. Like the thing is, I heard 2 parts. One part's like apparently got scouted just from solo queue, and the other one was the old academy support recommended him. Then he was playing tryouts for like the amateur team, and when he was playing in the trial, they're just like, oh, he's pretty good. We should just put him in the academy team anyway. So not the third team, but the second team. But like I didn't find him. He was just there, and then I just invest most of my time in him. But I didn't find him or anything. It's like not what happened.
And related to the also the FlyQuest Academy thingy you mentioned, do you think that the Academy concept on NA is much stronger than on Europe?
Well, firstly, next year is going to change, but I think what they had in the past, and maybe different is hard to say. It's just but better is hard to say. It's just very different. For purely development process, like I think if you really just the only thing that matters is try and make people better, like it's easier for sure to just like, cause like you really don't have to think about much. You just have to make sure one person gets good. But yeah, I think the dynamics, it's just very different. I wouldn't necessarily say one person is better than the other, because at the same time, you can also argue that if everything is more competitive, the players might get more prepared but this only matters for certain people. Like there's more pressure and stuff. Like maybe it's good that you get a feel for that, because last year with NA, I don't think there's like much pressure. You know, like nobody cares if you win. We're just like playing and trying to get better. But if you're in ERL, like I'm sure that you feel bad if you like lose a lot of games. You know, like this is also like people want you to win, and like it's very encouraged to do well. So I just say it's different. Like I don't really have an opinion about it if it's better or worse. I
But
think it's just different.
my point is also more towards like on Europe, if you lose a lot of games, you can really lose your job. But I feel like on NA is much more safer, and they really think of an academy on developing talents, and the results are just there, you know. But as long as you got a really good player on your academy and he keeps progressing and progressing, the head coach should be safe. Or here on Europe, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, if you don't win your league or you don't go to EMEA Masters, okay, you're getting fired next year because we can't accept that. So developing and short term is not something that goes well together.
No.
Obviously, I don't know if that's the case everywhere, right? Like, I don't know which conversation, but that's like the way how I kind of experienced it. It's like, that is true. But yeah, like let's say hypothetically, right? Like last year, if we got 10th place, but MASSU was really good and we did promote MASSU, then I maybe still keep my job. Let's say like that. And I think that's true.
Let me ask you this. Since you've been in both sides, LCS and LEC, for a coach that has been in academies, where is the salary better?
It was 10 times better than native. I think I made good
10
money.
times? 10 times.
I mean, not actually 10 times, but it was a lot better for sure. Like,
a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. A lot better.
I don't know if that's for everyone, by the way, but like this, like let's say like this, this year I made a lot more money than I will make next year. That's for sure.
Wait, say that again?
Like this year in FlagQuest, I made a lot more money than I will make next year in KOI, for example. But it's fine.
I mean, you're not here for the money, are you?
No, like I mean, I'm based at a PN. If you, especially at this point, if you want to make a lot of money, then I don't think you should become a pro gamer anymore. I think you should just do this because you really like it and you love to compete and you think this job is amazing. There are many things that are amazing about this job, but if you want to become a millionaire, I wouldn't say this is the right place to do that.
Right. So what's your goal here?
I just love my job. Like I like working with. Oh, here, like what do you mean here?
Like here, literally in like working for a Spanish team, as for example KOI, which is not a small team, by the way. What's your goal here?
Well, there's like multiple angles to it, right? And I'll try to like answer it in the best way possible. And this also maybe goes into a question you might ask in the future. So what I would prefer is that we can just create a system where we can consistently promote players to LEC. And that's hard because firstly, when you're in Europe, there are a lot of teams that are trying to get the best talent, right? Like when you're in NA, there's like 10 teams and then maybe 2 teams get the best talent. So it's like a little bit different. But what I would like is that we build a program where players will want to join. Because like that's something that I experienced that's like hard this off season is firstly there's a salary cap and there's a salary cap is lower than in LFL. So if people want to earn more money, they will go to LFL. And also if people want to be in a more allegedly competitive league, which might be true. Like I think the baseline of LFL is for sure higher than LVP, like just like the average skill. It's better for a very good rookie to go to France right now, right? But how can we change that? That's like the question, right? So if we build something here where players will want to be part of it, that because they know it's good for my career to be here, that's like the end goal, right? And this also like there are like a lot of rookies, for example, I think are really good right now. Like Omon, Camila, obviously Camila probably going to LEC, but Boda, I think Yopa's good. I think Rin is good. They're like all good rookies, and it's just when you're talking to these players, it's hard to get them because they're like, I want to go to LFL, or they're just getting like such big salaries. That's like, how do I? Like, firstly, last year Movistar obviously got like 5th and 6th, right? So then
Yeah.
I just come and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna change that, guys. Like, you should totally join us. Look, I promoted MASSU and Quad, and they're really good. But like in reality, those players will just say, the pay is not that I can get paid more here. That depends who says. Not everyone says it, right? And most players say I prefer to be in LFL. Then like, what do I do about that? I can't change that in like right now. That's just what they want, you know. But if I, let's say after 1 year, it's like, wow, Movistar is winning a lot, and they're really, or like a Movistar KOI is really good place to be. It's way better for me to go there than like to, because it's better for like, I want players to think that it's good for their career to join this program. That's like the goal.
Okay. That makes
But
a lot of sense.
that depends a lot on the roster and also on your core players. Because I will put you an example, okay? Let's talk about Camilo. So before Camilo got promoted to LEC by Heretics, he had a verbal agreement with Heretics with Los Heretics Academy, and he was probably earning half of what LFL could pay him easily. But just because of the roster, getting Tracy, Douglas, Jack, if he would have stayed, all these guys, and having a really strong roster, you can snip him out of LFL. So I think that's the main focus on Superliga teams, like having a great player score and trying to sell them this idea of winning EMEA Masters and everything, because if you want to go on a bid against LFL, you are always going to lose.
I agree.
Always.
But there's also one big difference here that you have to understand, right? Like,
What do you
I'll
mean?
not say the player, but one
Mhm.
player that we were speaking to this offseason, his goal was just to join a team that where he thinks he can replace the player in their LCS roster, you know? So for example, when we signed JOJOPYUN, he's like, okay, well, or like, I'm maybe not gonna go there. Or let's say we would sign another really strong player, then that player would probably not want to go here, right? But when you look at Heretics LEC roster, there's like basically five rookies, you know? So that's like, you're joining a program that's like so volatile because there's a high chance that if a player in the first team will do bad, you can go. But like when you look at our LEC roster next year, went to Worlds, like it's not like it looks really solid, you know? It's not like it's like really up in the air. It's not like there's like players that are like really likely to get benched in any way, shape, or form. Then like from the player's point of view, then they're not going there to get internally promoted, you know? And I would say personally that I agree with your point, right? Like if you build a strong roster where they would like to be, then sure, they would like to be there. But there's more factors that are important here too. And like if you are, it's just the same, I think like a little bit back in the day, let's say when G2 had an academy team, you know? Everybody knows you're not going to replace Caps. There's just no way, you know? Maybe if something really bad happens to him or if he just leaves. But you're not going to replace Caps. So why would you become the G2 Academy mid laner, you know? Because you're probably not going to replace him. You can maybe go to another Academy team and replace the guy there. But there are just so many like little dynamics which are just important. And some stuff is outside of my control, you know? Like,
Yep.
I do not build a LEC roster. I'm not going to sign a rookie top laner and also sign a really good player in academy that could be good, you know? Like, I have no control over that. But the only thing that I can control is just get good results, develop players, and build good rosters so it becomes attractive to be here over time. That's all I can do, you know? So like but as I said, my end goal is still to just make a good program that people want to be part of. That's my goal.
Yeah, but also like referring on what you said about G2 Academy, why would you want to join a team where Caps is on the main roster? Basically because you can get into G2 dynamics, learn from them, screaming with them because most of LEC teams screams with their academies. So you get all this experience rolling on, and should be really interesting if you are a rookie to get the chance to learn about Caps, talk to him, way more easy. So
But
I think
like that's just fake. Like from
you don't think so?
experience, I've been doing academy teams for 4 years, right? From experience, this barely happens. Like there are some teams that do it well, you know? I'm not saying like that has to be exclusive. I'm also not pointing fingers here, but I'm saying from my experience in the past 4 years,
Yeah.
the only upside is that you can watch the LEC scrims, that's something you can watch, right? Like that's also, by the way, not guaranteed everywhere, but you can watch the scrims. But this year, for example, Whippo and SRTTY, they work a lot together. But when I had Bradley and Quad, or Quad and Jensen, they don't speak that much. They don't do anything, you know? And I don't know whose fault that is, but I really think it's a little bit of a cope thing to say, because like it sounds very interesting at the start, you know, you're like, oh yeah, like you can learn a lot from our LEC team, and like maybe the coaches can help you and you can do 1v1s and sometimes we scrim, but in reality, it's not that much. Like from experience, like at least the place where I've been, it's just not really true. It's just not how it works.
Okay, you brought a really valid point, and I would like to move on to the subject of you basically joining KOI. Okay,
Yeah.
did you know about IBAI and the Spanish fan base and everything before you joined? Like, were you aware of the magnitude of all this before you joined?
Yes, but it was still bigger than expected, to be honest. Like I get so many DMs and like so many people tagging. I'm also like, I'm playing a little bit into it for sure. You know, like I'm tweeting in Spanish and just like trying to interact with the fans and just be transparent with them and trying to make them feel like they're part of it, and like that's important to me. But it's still like sometimes like, wow, what the fuck? Like I'm not on Twitter for like 1 second and like a 20 plus notifications. Like what's going on? You know, like that was strange. But I didn't expect it to be this big, but it feels nice for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, right now it feels really nice because you're the new guy, new kid on the block. He's coming to help. He's making a new team, a team that has never won a trophy in LVP, which is something that everybody really wants to do, like win the league here. Right now it's really nice because you're here, fresh blood, trying to help. But do you ever think of what this could be when you lose? Because some people in KOI, they already say, if you lose when you are in KOI, it's something like it's really unbearable. Like, do you feel yourself prepared for that?
I think it's hard to prepare for it anyway, you know? Like even if you expect it and you feel like you're ready for it, in reality you never really know for sure, right? Every person takes that differently. But let's say like this. I understand the responsibility of my job when I took it, for sure.
Okay, yeah. Some people are taking this like I'm saying bad things about the fans. I'm not. Like the fans being fans of a team this big is actually like, I mean, they want to win. otherwise you wouldn't be fans of a team this big. It's not the responsibility to win. It's just to demand winning. I'm just wanted to clarify that. The team that you're building is something like really, really new. It's been some, let's say, questions or some fans not happy how the things were handled with, like, for example, Rux or Shy Carry or, so on. Because what we understand is that the new coach, which is you, wanted a complete new team. You didn't want, or that's the info we got. You didn't want anybody from the old team. I would like you to take us through this, since some people, especially, did not understand the decision on Rux and Shy Carry.
Sure.
They had like a really good split, or they believe they did. So, yep, if you could take us through this.
Yeah, for sure. So this starts before I signed, you know? Like I had a lot of interviews this off season where teams I could join, and one demand always is from the start is that wherever I go, I want to be able to choose my own players, because I feel like I've had a lot of success building teams, and like just I feel I feel at my best when I'm in control, you know? So it's like, I'm going to sign someone like, oh, this guy's going to stay. If I don't already really like this player, then I probably wouldn't even go there in the first place. So when I joined Movistar, it was like from the start, I could do whatever I want with the team, you know? Like that, this is my decision. This is also why I'm willing to take full responsibility, you know? Like for sure. And like the reason why, I don't know. I just think like, I just thought I could get better players. Like that's just like as simple as it is. Like I went through their games and I just didn't like, I just thought I could get better players than that's just more important to me. Like I don't think they're bad. I think there's upside for sure. And I respect them as players. But the thing is like, one thing that I already had in my head, if I go back to Europe, no matter where I will go together with Unforgiven, no matter what. Because firstly, I had a very good working experience with him. I think he's really fucking good. And I just like know, like he also really wants to work with me again because we had such a good like work. Because like I have to understand, I worked with this kid for 1 year. He goes to LEC. He's in LEC. We're still having a lot of contact working together. He goes to NA. I'm also in NA. We had a lot of contact together. And now this year, obviously he's back to Europe. I didn't speak couldn't speak as much to him as I wanted. But when I became free agent, me and him really want to go together somewhere. That was just like we knew it from the start. This is just like something that I also told when I'm interviewing at places. I want to work with this 80 carry. Like I think he's really good, and also I understand his issues and I think I can fix them. But I just didn't have the time full time to work with him, you know. So if I know a player that's already so talented and I go here, like it's almost like it's just a little bit unlucky for the people that were already here, you know, because like it's not personal. I just think this ADC is really fucking good and I will take him. And he also just wants a different support because I know which support he wants and he thinks it's good. And I think this player is good as well. So it's like they just get like it's hard to say, but they just get unlucky, you know. Like I just think they're not, I don't think they're bad, but I think these players are better. That's just my opinion. Can I be wrong? Sure, you know. But like at the end of the day, I'm just doing my job, and I think what I do is best. I will do what I think is best. That's my responsibility, right? And that's
Sure.
just what I will do.
Sure.
So basically, talking a bit about the roster, I wanted to know a bit if you are 100% into the decision making. You are taking this decision, also talking with a bit with Melcet, who is LEC head coach, and also yesterday Melcet made a stream talking a bit about the academy, and he said basically that from the team, what they told him is that the goal is to win Superliga, right? And he wanted some rookies, but it's impossible to get them. So did you swap your focus to 100% winning Superliga and developing talent is on second plan, or how are you managing that stuff?
Okay. So when I joined and when we joined, the first goal was to develop talent for sure. Because you have to understand that was the thing that I'm best at
Somos la
and was my
Hispanidad.
complete job the last 2 years, you know? That's just all I did. Is just get rookies and try to make them go to LEC or LCS. The thing is also one thing that I realized is if you cannot get the best rookies, then let's
Somos
say
la
you have like
Hispanidad.
S tier rookies. Why would you get B tier rookies? You know, like what's the you just hope they become S? Like I just don't like. I think that's just like my opinion, not worth it. You know, and then like as I said before, right? Then it's just important for me that I build a program that I can get S tier rookies, right? Like let's say maybe next year or like the year after. You know, that's like the goal. So still like also like we still might get rookies. Like the thing is, there's not, a lot of spots are not locked. I'm talking to a lot of players. Like there's still a chance. It just depends. Like if I think it makes sense that they're good enough, you know, then yes, for sure. But one thing that is not like it's not necessarily I want to win Superliga. Like of course I do want to win Superliga. Like that is really important to me. And I also understand that there's a lot of pride in this because KOI has not won Superliga before, and it's important for them, you know. But that's really important to me. But this is the goal of the program. The team is not built to win Superliga. The team is built to build a program that we can in the future get whatever we want. That people, I want to build something that players want to come here. That's the goal, you know. And of course, I want to win Superliga, 100%. But that's not how we're building it, you know.
Okay. The thing is, how do you like? okay, if this team is made to get whatever you want in the future, what does that mean exactly? Like, are you willing? Like, are you making this team in order to promote players? Are you doing this in order to like? How do you make people wanting to come over here? It's either winning or them seeing a
yeah,
window.
it's like promoting and winning, in my opinion. And also, it's like part of it is my job, because good example of ERL coach that I really respect and people I think want to work with is Arvinder from BDS, because over the past 4 years he has promoted a shitload of players, you know, like in like fucking us, like there's like 10, you know, maybe 10 players that after working with him go to LEC. This time his roster, Genax, Skillmont, Reeker, and Paris, I don't know what's happened to Kudui, but 4 to 5 are going to LEC, you know? If I'm a player and like I'm like, oh, which coach should I want to work with? It is Arvinder, because he's had such good results, right? So firstly, part of it is on me, and then like how do I do that? It's firstly win, because like if let's say KOI, MOVISTAR KOI, first place LVP, top 2 U Masters, first place LVP, top 2 U Masters, like the entire year we just win and have good results, then players would want to be part of that. And of course, also if our players can go to LEC, then that would be really well. But what you have to understand is this is something that so there's like this fake rumor, right? Someone went on here to say which roster we're gonna get. Firstly,
Yeah.
maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Like I'm talking to these players, but that's not confirmed, you know? Sure, they're considered, you know, but that's not confirmed. But even if those players would join, and some people say, yeah, but they are like DOS already went to LEC, like he was bad, like why would we sign him? He's never gonna make it back. Who the fuck says that? Like, how do you come to that conclusion? Like, you're like, firstly, most people commenting this are not game experts. They can't assess what's wrong with this player. They can't fix his issues either. But if you go to BDS right now, you have Genix and Reeker, who Reeker, in my opinion, looks horrible in his first LEC split, and he's a great
Yeah.
fucking player. And Genix, who also like at points looked really good, but also fell off at some point. If they can make it back, why can't other players do that as well? I don't know. Like, why? This is also something that I started raising. Why does a rookie or a player that's interesting for Academy have to be 17-year-olds and no team experience? I do believe that at the end of the day, in an Academy program, it is important that you get players to LEC. This doesn't have to be a rookie necessarily. This just has to be a player that you think whose problems you can fix. That's like just the way how I look at it. Look at even player like in NA, like Contract. Last year, he at first, where was he? C9, demoted to Academy, then did really well in CLG Academy, and last year wins LCS. This wouldn't be possible if no Academy team would be willing to work through his issues. And that's like the way how I look at it as well. Unforgiven, firstly, when he was in IC, first All-Pro, really great AD. When he was in NA last year, one of the best ADs in the region. And now somehow this year he doesn't get a good team. Well, there must be something wrong, you know, and I'm going to try to fix that for him. It's the same with all these players that we might sign. These players are not perfect because they're not the top best players in IC, so they will have flaws, and it will be my job to try and fix that. And that's what I will try, and I will try to get these players back to IC.
Lovely, lovely. Just one really quick thing. You mentioned Arvinder, which is I completely agree with you. He's a hell of a coach and he's done great. Have you talked to him about his experience when he was in Spain?
I have not. I have sometimes asked him questions, but I have not. I know he's been at KOI in the past. I have not spoken to him about that.
Okay, just I was just wondering if you actually got like his view on this and like maybe it could help you.
Yeah,
that was my
I
question.
wanted to make a quick
He's actually in the
appointment.
chat saying Koi España.
Yeah,
Muy bien, muy bien.
Arvinder is fan of Leo and he speaks a little bit of Spanish. I think better than Koi Sevilla. So yeah, just wanted to remark what you told, because I totally agree with you with all this rookies trend that if you are not 17 years old, I think all this rookies thingy and Jack is being so successful has like rot the mind of GMs, and they think if a player has one bad split on LEC, then he should get demoted and he's trash, totally trash, and he should leave the game, you know. So
Mhm.
all these things, I think it's something more imposed by GMs than for coaches. But as you don't see very often a general manager change on a team, but you saw a really often head coach change. We normally um, how to say it. We normally award it to a head coach mistake and his boosted blah 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 instead of a structure failure of the team.
Sure. That's also important because before Reeker went to Mad Lions, he was one, if not the best mid in ERL, you know? This player clearly was insanely fucking good, but whatever went wrong, I'm not sure. I wasn't there, right? But I think it's beautiful that a player like this can get the chance again, you know? For sure.
For sure. Yes, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. Actually, I agree even more when you are so sure about it. You, you're pretty you're pretty sure about it. I need to ask you about a tweet that you actually wrote yesterday, saying that it could ruin some players. I believe you said reputation about rumors of, in this case, Suairo joining your team.
Yeah,
Is he being considered for the position?
sure. Of course.
Do you like Suairo?
100%. I think he's a great player and I love his mindset and I would love to work with him.
Okay, I was just curious about that because I was surprised by your tweet.
I also
I
want
mean,
to
the one thing that I would like to add about that, like the thing is also like, it's not even like, let's say I want him and
Mhm.
he wants to join us. If it's not confirmed yet, this is still bad because you have to understand. Let's say we want Swaru and we give him, I give you a imaginary number, $10. You know, we offer him $10, and if now a other team that also wants Swaru sees, oh, he's going there, we're not gonna give him counter offer. And then another team doesn't offer him $15. This makes his negotiation position weaker, you know? So even if we both want to join each other, this will fuck him indirectly, you know? So this is why it's so important that, and also so dangerous when these fake rumors. This is also why I was pretty upset when like this like my roster got announced because like even if I would sign these 5 players, right? Hypothetically, let's say I will sign them. This still fucks them anyway because now all the other teams can be like, I guess we're not offering them anything, you know. And now the only team that they can join is my team, unless the agents, like everyone has to start working, you know, like the agents and the players go, no, this is not true. Like it's just so annoying that it's just bad.
Yeah. Okay.
uh,
I understand that. That's why I
quick
was
question
curious.
about all this off-season stuff. Do you think, Rako, you also entered a bit late on Superliga off-season as uh, LTRs are really important this year on Superliga and most of them are out or taken by other teams or went to LEC?
Yeah,
So
I would prefer to be earlier for sure. It's just hard. Like it's hard to time, you know? Like there's at some point I thought maybe I should try to stay in an A, maybe it's best for me, but I had all these talks with ERL teams and some are like faster than others and at some point like I would have even preferred to wait later, but now in hindsight would just be terrible. But
okay.
I agree that, but that's no one's fault. That's nobody's fault, you know? There's not much to do about that. That's just certain teams moving faster, certain moving slower. It just depends. But I would prefer to be here sooner so we could just have more time to figure everything out. And just like less stress. Because now it's like it is a little bit stressful, you know? But yeah, I'm probably late.
Also, a quick question, just fan service one, because don't know if you know Toaz Amarillo, Yellow Toad, big
It's a Spanish
personality
streamer.
here in Spain. He's fan of uh, challengers from LCS, and he really likes SRTTY. So he has been asking if there is any possibility that SRTTY comes to Europe or your team, all this stuff.
Okay, let's say it like this. I really tried to bring 30, but I think actually I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but like it's looking like he will get an LCS job next year, and we can't keep waiting for that. So me and him, like me and SRTTY agreed that it's just better to not do this. But I try to bring him because he's great. But he deserves to be. It would be sad if he would have to come because he deserves to be in LCS for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let me
you
let me
made
put you
Toad
in
the
context.
happiest dude on earth right now.
Let me put you
Hey,
in
it's not
context.
confirmed, but it's looking good. I think.
Let me put you in context because you don't know who Toad Amarillo is.
No,
right?
I know. Like he's co-streamed some of the NA Challengers games and my
Yeah,
players. He
yeah.
likes some of my players. So I don't know him personally, but I've heard about him for sure.
You will for sure. He's a great guy. He actually he streams the LCS. He's like whenever anybody here in our region, not in our region, in Spain, basically, we have a question about LCS, we just go to him. We just go to him. He watches everything. And by the way, his show, his stream is called Bar Espica, which is just he loves Espica. And in case he Espica comes to Europe, if that's a possibility, he would just go crazy, which we will all we will love to see that. Have you, since you're in Mad Lions, have you talked to Melset yet?
Yeah.
How was that?
Good. Like I respect him a lot for sure, and I think he's very, very admirable. Like I respect him a lot. Yeah. So it's good.
Good. In case you get the players that you have in mind, either the ones that it's been public or the others that you could have in mind, do you think any of the players that you sign could replace anybody in the main team? Let me put you an example. Do you think Unforgiven has the potential to replace SUPA?
I mean, sure. Like is it gonna happen? I don't know. But I think if they don't have the potential to reach that, they wouldn't be here anyway. So I would say, sure, why not?
Okay, so that's, I mean, that's I don't want to trick you like into some like tricky questions. Yeah, I'm just truly like I'm asking myself this since you said the model that you want to build in Movistar, and replacing like Unforgiven with Supa or I don't know, those with Alvaro or stuff like that. I mean, it seems as of right now, it seems a bit difficult.
Of course, it's very hard because they are great players, and they should not be replaced.
No,
But
they can't be.
exactly, they shouldn't at all. Like they're amazing, nothing bad to say. It's not like I'm being like, yeah, Supa is pretty bad and Unforgiven is really good. It's not like that, Supa is amazing and they're all really good, They have amazing players. It's more like hypothetically, if they would underperform or like something would happen, do I think Unforgiven would be good enough to play? Sure, like why not? But it's not like I think they're better, not right now necessarily, but do I think they have the potential to could become very good? Sure, sure.
All right. By the way, I don't know if you are reading at all the chat, but like people are loving you already.
Oh, I'm not reading the chat, but I appreciate that.
No, they're really loving you. They're really supporting you. That like I need to they're attacking me for asking you these questions.
Yeah, Axinias is the bad guy. You know him.
I'm the
He
bad guy
made
as always.
That's
I just
okay.
he
I
made
just
Mad
really
Lions
want to
go
know.
to second division. So just don't listen him, Rocco. But yeah, that's it. That's it basically.
Yeah, I need to clarify one thing. Whenever I ask Rocco, because it was me from the Twitter that asked you for the interview, Rocco.
Okay,
And
yeah.
yeah, and you didn't hesitate at all to say yeah. And I ask you, is there like any specific subject that is like delicate and you don't want to talk about it? And you said no, full transparency. I want everything on the table. And I think with your answers here, you like I'm actually impressed. Like you have everything so clear, and I can actually see why you got hired. And I think people, the fans, are actually appreciating that. So I think you're gonna have a bright future in that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. You bring something new into the scene because I don't know if you know about the level of LVP during the last years. It's not the best. It's not the best. It
Fair enough.
used to
I
be way
agree.
better.
Yeah, I mean, it was better than LVP at some point, back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just hope to get a team, like, apart from all the results, I just want a team that everyone that plays there and supports it can be proud of. If this can mean so many things, Maybe we just play very fun League of Legends, Like the thing is also like you're still watching this game because you like it. It's like exciting, right?
Yeah.
League is fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun to play in my team, but it's also supposed to be fun to support our team, And that's something that is really important to me. So playing League in a way which is not boring, we're not going to be scared, It's a very like one of the things that I believe that is really important, and that's I think also I try to invest a lot of time in with my players is something that I think I heard different coaches call different things, but we refer to it as squeezing, which means trying to get the most out of certain situations. So this can mean, for example, maybe an AD carry will try to bait and engage with his clans, or in team fight they'll try to get as much as possible in situations and are not scared to make mistakes and are just willing to maximize the most. A good example of an AD carry is like Elk or Jackie Love. Like they're a little bit crazy, They're doing things that sometimes look like int, but they don't care because they are just trying to get the most, and sometimes they look insane. And that's something that I also really always invest a lot of time in making my teams understand. Well, because firstly, if you cannot squeeze, you cannot be an exceptional player. You're not going to be a world class player if you cannot
Yep.
try to maximize the mode of situations. And secondly, if you're not going to be if you're going to be scared, it's just not going to work. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like you cannot be. This is like without throwing anyone under the bus. Like the way how AD carry was played, like 6-7 years ago, let's call it reckless style. It's like the opposite of squeezing. Very consistent, like not risking much. You can see right now the top AD carries, the top Eastern ADs do not really play like that anymore. Where the league just has developed so much that you just need to start risking more and like trying to get more out of situations to like be an exceptional player. And this is why these players like Elk and Gumayushi and Jackie Love and Pace are
Somos
so
los
good
Spaniards,
because they always get so much. And if you want to become good, this is something you have to do. And this also makes League really fun. Like, do you remember, for example, when MASSU was like in certain fights getting so much, he's not being scared, or Pace, like this is like there's so many examples, right? But that's something that I always really want my teams to do, and that also makes my teams more fun to watch, hopefully. So I just want I want to create something that people can be proud of and that I can be proud of, and that's just really important.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, I think the last question because show is getting to the end. So basically, have you imposed yourself like a minimum outcome acceptable for this year?
No, because I don't believe in that personally. Like the thing is, I feel like if I would say, if we don't win, it's a failure. Like this
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything. Like what does it mean? I'm only putting pressure on me and my players, and I'm creating an expectation which doesn't matter. Like my goal for this year, my expectation is that I'm gonna love my job every single day. I'm going to make sure my players love their job and being part of this team every single day, and that we're just going to work really hard and that they're going to get better and that we're going to be a good team. So those 5 things are important to me. And if that goes well, we'll probably win anyway, That's later. That's the end goal. But for me, it's just important that the journey is good, that I feel happy because I do this job because I love it. I love this job. And these players should love their job because that's why they should be pro players, because they love being one and they want to become as good as possible. Those 5 things are my expectation, but I don't care if we win. I feel like if we do everything well, we will win anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I have 2 quick questions before
Yeah.
ending. The first one is, what do you have to say for the people that is like, I don't want to say complaining. It's just like they're concerned about the fact that if again and if you get the players that it's been said, the average age is going to be higher than the main team. For academy team, that's not like the usual.
Mm.
Do you have anything to say about this?
I don't know. I can't make everyone happy, you know. Like I can, like those people that think that's concerning. I like, as I said, I think I've already addressed why that was harder. You know, like earlier for sure. Like as I said before, to quickly summarize, I think it's if you don't get the best rookies and you don't get rookies that you think are really good, why would you get rookies? You know, I don't like. Do we just sign any? Like at that point, are we going to sign any 16-year-old that has slight mechanics? That's not really how it works, you know. But the goal is just to build a program that people want to be part of and can be proud of, you know.
Mhm.
And this is not like, let's say this year you can almost see like a transition year. You could look at it like that, you know.
Okay.
This is going to be the transition to what MOVISTAR KOI and the KOI Academy program is going to be in the future, and we're just going to make sure that we will get good results. And results mean different things, right? Making sure these players can go back to LEC if they have played here before, or maybe their debut in LEC, and that we just start winning championships. So this program just looks solid, and that's my goal. And I understand that people are critical about that. I personally don't believe in age that much in esports. If you're looking at Core JJ and Impact having played one of the best years of their careers, same as Whippo is playing phenomenal, maybe even better than he did as he was at the time as a rookie, you know, when he joined the LEC. But I don't believe in it. Only thing that for me matters is mindset. I think it's way more important than age, because if I have 16-year-olds that are all fucking lazy and don't care and don't show up and have no talent, or I can choose having 40-year-olds that are really talented and working really hard, and they are making sure that they try to like learn from their mistakes and not being stuck in their ways, then I will choose the latter. And that is the old people. Hypothetically, and it's not that extreme. Also, you know, I understand that you might believe in age and that it's important, but in my opinion, it just doesn't. I don't know what to say. I think it's not important. There are way more important things. I understand that there are negatives to it and there's a certain negative stigma around it, but at the end of the day, I can't satisfy everyone, you know? I have worked with young players all my life, you know, and I really like it and I'm really good at it. But right now, I'm just doing what I think is best for the program, and that's just my decision. And I can't make everyone happy, sadly.
No, I agree with you. Age, like for me, age doesn't matter either. I just wanted
Yeah.
to hear your thought. And the last question that I have, that a lot of people are waiting for this. Since you come from NA and you know studied the game, studied the players, you've been close to him. What's your personal opinion on JOJOPYUN?
Okay, so I became really good friends with Inspired this year because we are very close. Like we're both obviously we're playing for work for FlyQuest, and me and Inspired play a lot of football together. We play a lot of tennis, pickleball, whatever. And there was one player that Inspired could never stop talking about, and it was Jojo. It was always JoJoPyun would do this here. Oh, JoJoPyun was so good. Like JoJoPyun was like Inspired loves JoJoPyun, and Inspired, in my opinion, is one of the best Western players of all time. And I have never heard Inspired talk about another player with so much respect, and he is really fucking good. I would not diminish like his results from this year to any of his capabilities. This guy is obviously fucking insane, and I think we are really lucky to have him here for sure. And he's he's really fun too. Like he's amazing. So only good things to say.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That was a great answer, and I think everybody got really, really
Hype is
hyped about this.
insane. Yeah.
Yes.
For his debut.
The hype is insane. Yes, for sure. We reached the end of an interview, and the first of things, I need to thank you for taking this interview. As I said to Melset, to Gax, to all the coaches from Spain, I will contact you again when the season is, or at least the beginning of the season and the end of the first split. It's over, so you come here for like a brief moment at least, and tell us like what you think, what you thought about the entire split, what are your ideas, and like just for the fans, for us that we will be like wanting to know too. But thank you very much for taking this interview. And it was a pleasure to meet you, and I think you really hyped the fans today
Yeah,
because
you did
I
great.
see the chat full
Koi
of
people will
hearts
love
for
you.
I appreciate that. Check.
Yeah, I mean now it's on your hands that they keep loving you, and I'm pretty sure you won't have much trouble. I will say this in Spanish now. Gente, nosotros que nos marchamos y mañana seguramente Eros va.
Seguramente, Mercato. Puf.
Porque hay un par de cositas cocinándose y puede que salgan mañana. Y mañana Eros, depende de Eros si mañana va a haber stream o no. Pero sin más, os dejamos seguramente atentos a nuestras redes sociales porque mañana es posible que abramos y si no, ya nos vemos para el fin de semana. Un abrazo y hasta luego. Chao, chao.
Chao, chao, chao.